This is how to break 90 guaranteed, and it's 100% free. Unless you want to donate, let's say $10 per shot under 90. Once you do it, PayPal below. But warning number one, players, this is not for people trying to break 100, okay? There's a Breaking 100 series for that. It's broken into 6 parts. Keep that attention span, watch all 6. Hundreds of people have broken 100 since that video series has been released. It works 100% guaranteed within 6 to 8 rounds. But once you break that 100, remember, you're going to smash 100. Once you get to that point, you want to break 90. And this is how to break 90. The second warning I have, though, is that this is going to be a long video. I'm not breaking this into parts. I will put timestamps so you can get each concept that you want to focus on at quick reference, but listen to every bit of information here. And you are going to break 90 100% guaranteed within 6 to 8 rounds. I guarantee it. If you don't, it means that you didn't do it properly. Step 1 in breaking 90 is the same as step 1 in breaking 100. We're going to play a par 90 golf course. Because why, players? Because par is a social construct. It's merely a word. But if we add 1 stroke to the par of every hole on an 18-hole golf course, we're going to have a par 90 golf course. So every single hole, par 5s, change to par 6. Par 4s, change to par 5s. Par 3s, change to par 4s. That is the first step. You take the scorecard and you write in the new par. Where it says par 5, 4 and 3, you literally take it and write +1. You add 1. So where it says 5, you write a 6. Where it says 4, you write a 5. Where it says 3, you write a 4. I'm not joking. That's exactly how you do it. This right here is the key, because this alleviates all the pressure in your mind of trying to play par 72 golf. This is going to make you lose your mind, because we are not playing par 72 golf. We are not professionals. We are not plus handicappers. If you are trying to play 72, you are going to have DOGS, dogs, delusions of grandeur syndrome. This system eliminates dogs. So par 90, no more 72. Because a par 72 course means that the green in regulation is the number of strokes to hit the green to allow yourself 2 putts to make the par. So a green in regulation on a par 5 for par 72 golf is 3 shots. 4 minus 2 putts is 2 shots. 3 minus 2 putts is 1 shot. Now, as we're trying to break 90, we don't need to do that. Because we've adjusted the par, we adjust our green in regulation number. This is the key. It takes that pressure off you needing to hit the par 4 green in 2. That's 430 yards. The par 5, that's 600 yards. 550 yards you no longer have to hit in regulation of 3 shots. We just minus 2, because we must never do more than 2 putts. So we allow ourselves our 2 putts. So that means our new green in regulation, new GIR, green in regulation, 6 minus 2 is 4 shots, par 5, 3 shots, par 4, 2 shots. So every hole, now you can increase the number of shots it takes to get on the green and relieve that pressure from your mind totally. And if you hit the par 5 in 4 shots, be happy. If you hit the par 5 in 3 shots, be happy. If you hit the par 5 in 3 shots, be fucking happy. And if you hit the par 4 in 2 shots, be extremely happy. And if you hit a par 3 in 1, you are the man. The question we have to ask ourselves is, because I've adjusted the par and the green in regulation for you, that 360-yard par 4, while you can reach it in 2, my question is, can you reach it in 3? And the answer, player, is yes, easily. Can you reach that par 3 of 175 yards in 2 shots? Hell yes, you can. That's the point. Yes, you can. Now, before we go into the breakdown and planning of these holes using our new green in regulation par numbers, let's move into what clubs you're going to need. That's why I call this the 25 is the magic number system. Because all we're going to need is, now bear with me. Now this is going to maybe melt some faces, because I'm not a full bag proponent exponent, promoter, okay? I'd love for you to play a full bag, but that can come one day. Now we're talking about breaking 90, and I'm on your side here, players. I don't care, okay? I don't care. If you come from the breaking 100 section and you now want to graduate to breaking 90, follow the first step. Second step, these key clubs. Now, if you came from that system, you already know the putter is important. You already know the sand wedge is what we need to get out of sand and to chip onto the green when we're in trouble having to go over something, remembering to always just get it on the green. And the 100-yard club. Now, if that is your sand wedge, that's your sand wedge. Then you don't even need two clubs. But if you've come from the breaking 100 section and you've been working on your pitching wedge and it's a 100-yard club, well done, player. You already have that in your bag. Most people should be, if they're shooting in the 90s, be able to hit a 100-yard shot relatively reliably and have a club for that distance. Next, you want to have a 125-yard club. That can be maybe two more clubs than that one. So that may be your pitching, that may be your 8. That's kind of how it works. 12 to 15 yards between your clubs. After that, you need the 150-yard club. This can be something like pitching wedge 8, 6. It can be sand 9, 7, something like that. Sand 9, 8. It can be anything. Just adapt it to yourself. And then the essential one, and the difference between the breaking 100 crowd and the breaking 90 crowd, is this section here. 175 plus. This is just non-negotiable, unfortunately. As we get better at golf, and as you watch the difference in levels, you'll notice it's so easy to see, right? Pros versus people trying to break 100. Trying to break 100, hit it in the fairway with whatever club gets you there, normally a shorter club. As you get better and move toward the pro level, the tee shot goes longer and in the fairway gets longer on the same lines. Then you go into the approaches. You're starting to hit longer approaches into the green, and as you become toward the pro ranks, you have shorter approaches into the green, meaning your proximity to the hole gets shorter. This is just natural. There's no specific statistics you need to know this. It's just common sense. And then once you see the professionals chipping versus a high handicapper, you start to see the difference there too. Getting the ball closer to the hole and converting the putts. Less 3 putts in the high handicap, more 1 putts in the professional ranks. That's the continuum of golf. And it's non-negotiable that to break 90, you are going to need a 175-yard plus club that goes relatively reliably where you want to go. As I say in the breaking 100 video, if you don't have a club that goes 150 regularly where you want it, you're in trouble and you need to see a professional. You have to have at least the skill to hit a 150-yard club relatively reliably, airborne, in the direction you want. Otherwise, you're not playing golf. Now, if you want to break 90, you need the 175 plus club. For me, that's going to be the 6-iron, okay? That's easily just going to be the 6-iron. But for you, that may be 5. For you, that may be 6. For you, that may be a 5 wood. For you, it may be a 3 wood. It may even be your driver. Whatever it is, this club needs to be what you were working on when you're trying to break 100, and if it's not ready, it needs to be what you're working on trying to break 90 at the range and bring it to the course onto wider holes to start getting it into play with some confidence. Now, that is up to you. I'm not going to stipulate what clubs you need. You need to know your distances. Well, one way to know your distances, players, is the Swing Caddy SC300. Link in the description below. Garmin S40 GPS watch. Link in the description below. Rangefinder. Link in the description below. Okay, let's get back to it. Back to it, players. What clubs go these distances? Find it out. This one here is key. You will not be able to progress to break 90. I did a video where I hit 150 yards or less. You can watch it. It's linked in the description below. 150 yards and I broke 90. But that is a 4.4 index handicap doing that. Essentially, you're going to need this club. And if the best part about the system is that if you have that club, you're doing well. But if you have this 200 plus club, let's say you have a club that goes 200 plus, that's relatively reliable, straight enough, this is going to be the major bonus, okay? This is going to leapfrog you, not just to break 90. You're not just going to break, you're not just going to shoot an 89. You're not. If you can get this club under control, your first time under 80 is going to be an 85, an 84, an 86, something like that. You're going to smash it. It's possible to smash it with a 175-yard club too. But this one here is really going to leapfrog. But if you're not ready with this, go to the pro, do some lessons, work on it on the range, bring it to the course, introduce it. But the core of your bag is these, 175 down to putter. Now, a lot of people may say, ooh, Matt, that's pat golf and I'll never improve from that. I've heard it all. As I said in the Break 100 video, sand wedge, chipping club, 100-yard club, 125, 150, 175. These will become the core backbone of your bag. Going forward, when you eventually start breaking 80, which you will do once you get the hang of this, these clubs here, you would have practiced them so much that they will become your go-to shots. When you're standing on a tee, you go, I'd like to hit 150 yards into this green. Bing! And you'll hit a shot to set up that shot. Or you'll say, my favorite shot is 125 yards. I'm on a par 5, 302 yards away. I want to set up 125, so I need 180 yards. Bam! You hit 180 yards to your 125-yard club on the green, maybe a birdie, maybe a par. But that's how it works. That's all you need to play golf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clubs, with one of them being optional. And if you're having trouble, players, I didn't include this in the Breaking 100 video. If you're having trouble, there's two main areas I find most people have the biggest issues with. It's the top and the bottom of the bag. If you're carrying a driver and this club is getting you into trouble more often than it's helping you, and when the trouble part is costing you so many shots that the positive part doesn't balance out, take it out the bag. Okay, second one, bottom of the bag, 60-degree wedge. Yes, we see the pros using these on television. Yes, we all want to hit the flop shots. They're completely unnecessary if you want to break 90. Both of these clubs are completely unnecessary if you want to break 90. If you have a good driver and it's one of your best clubs, do not take it out the bag. If any club is your best club, include it in here. It's totally up to you. This is a basic thing. But if you have some other favorite club, add it in. It's adaptable. But if it's costing you more shots than it's gaining you, just take it out the bag. Just take it out the bag. And a 60-degree wedge, you do not need this club. I guarantee it, you do not need this. Anything from 56 degrees and down is going to be more than enough to get out of sand and to chip up onto the green. These sand wedges often have big fat soles that really help get through the turf. 60 degrees are a fine, fickle mistress because the bounces, the amount of sole, the amount of loft, the weighting, everything is so tough from different lies. It's a very specialty club. So if you're having trouble, look at the top and the bottom of your bag and remove those things instantly. Next, we have to play from the correct tees, players. Now, B-Dog is breaking 90 regularly, shot an 80, 81 or 82 yesterday. That's his best score ever from the certain tee. But I would not allow him to play blue tees with me until he broke 90 from the white tees. Now, he wouldn't listen to me and put the driver away, so he kept using the driver and he did break 90 and he got it done. Now he's shooting in the 80s, but started the correct tees, okay? What's the correct tees? Anything, if you have a 175-yard club, anything from 6,000 yards up to 6,400. Try not to play longer than that. You can if you have a longer club off the tee, but I'd say maximum you're playing about 6,400 yards. If you don't have a course that long or that short, just adjust some of the holes. I mean, just play off different tees for some of the holes. It's fine. You're just trying to break 90 for the first time. But the very unspoken, there's two unspoken things in playing better golf because they don't make much sense. But this is something I've noticed playing with JMac, T-Ski, playing with B-Dog, playing with Tio, Rahat. Everybody I play with who is in the 90s and up to 100 is the unspoken punch shot. You need a punch shot because we are not playing for a perfect round. We are not going to hit every fairway. We're going to hit it in the trees. We're going to hit it under branches. We're going to hit it in positions that we don't know how to get out because we can't fly it. You need the punch shot. Now a punch shot can come from your 175 yard club, it can come from your 200 plus club, but you need to learn to keep the ball low. It's practically a chip shot, so you want to practice your chipping and take that same feeling with that punch club, okay? You're going to have to go get in the trees, you're going to have to go practice the shot. There's probably tutorials on YouTube to look for to how to hit a punch shot, but you want to have a punch shot to help you recover from the nasty stuff to get the ball back in play, because that's the essential part of breaking 90. We want to get the ball back in play. Hit in the trees on a par 5. Remember, you have 4 shots to hit the green, you still have 3. You don't need the hero shot, because in breaking 90 and breaking 100 golf, there is no hero shot. No hero shots, only stupid shots. So a punch shot is a very good investment to have to get the ball back in play. This is non-negotiable. I've watched JMac and B-Dog. They don't have this shot when we play tree line courses. You need this shot. So go and get in the trees when you're on the next practice round and just hit shots out of the trees. Just do it. I'm telling you. Next, the other secret weapon people do not talk about. This right here, players, is the 7 wood. You want a wood that's 20 to 24 degrees in loft. That is going to be so easy to hit. If you can't hit hybrids, you need a 7 wood. Anything you can get your hands on, nice 7 woods. I'm telling you, that is the unspoken secret weapon in breaking 90, breaking 100 golf. Cobra, definitely one of the brands to look out for. Next, one of those clubs that you have that I recommended to you needs to become your chipping club. You need one chipping club when you're breaking 90. This is how I did it. You can use multiple, but why add the variables? Get intimate with your chipping club, okay? That thing must be your best friend, your lover, your everything. When you go to the chipping green, you go chip with that, okay? You just go chip with that. You start to grip down on it. You grip up on it. You open the face, you close the face, you hit a low one off the back foot, you hit a high one off the front foot. Play around with the chipping club, become intimate with it so you can get up and down anytime you want. And when I started breaking 90, I took the pitching wedge. It was always the pitching wedge. Even when I got down to a 9 handicap, it was the pitching wedge. Until I got into single figure, lower single figure, I started adjusting my club and then the landing spot. You can watch my chipping video, I'll link it below. It explains the difference between the different technique of different club, same spot, or different spot, same club. Okay, you can watch that video, I've linked it below. Now what's practice 2 to 1? This is a rule you are not allowed to break. Okay? For every hour you do at the driving range hitting the balls, okay, because you only have 6 clubs now, right? You only have 5, 6 clubs, so you're only hitting those clubs at the range. So you don't really have that much to do, right? Just get those clubs right. For every hour you're there, you want 2 hours on the chipping and putting green. You have to chip like a beast. You have to hit bunker shots like a beast. But you need to spend 2 hours for every 1 hour you're pummeling balls at the range. Guaranteed, that's going to be the difference. And then, of course, players, on the putts, let's stick with that theme quickly before I move on to the next one. Just had a thought. I used to play a lot of better ball competitions, and you know who I used to pick as my partners? The guy shooting like 90, 92, and they're playing off like a 16 handicap. Because I know for a fact, on any given Saturday, with me off a 6, 7, 3, 4 handicap, making a few birdies here or there, I knew my partner off a 16, 17, 15 handicap, average score 90 to 93, I could knock off 5, 6 shots in one round. And you know how I did it? Because all people know how to line up a putt. We all know how to read a green. Regardless of what you think of yourself, you know. But the problem is you're so anxious that you're always coming up to look where the ball's going. And that's what I used to eliminate. Anything inside 10 feet, wait for the rattle of the ball in the hole. You never see a putt going in. You never see it going in. You only hear it going in. I've won so many better ball competitions with mid-handicappers struggling to break 90 who actually break 90 in the round. Because all I tell him, Pete, Jack, whoever they are, you're lined up. Just go. Don't lift your head. Listen to the rattle. Listen for the rattle. Bam. That's going to change your life inside 10 feet. That's going to make you make more putts. No more. Ooh, where's my ball going? No more. Now we get on to the single biggest difference between a 90, mid-90 to upper 90 shooter and someone who shoots mid-80s on a golf course. There's only one significant, serious difference besides the short game. It's this: thinking. Literally thinking. You need to stop and think for a second on every single shot. Just take 10 seconds out of your process, where there is no process generally. Just think for 10 seconds. You need to be thinking. You stop, you get to your ball, you think about the upcoming shot, you think about the shot you want to have left, you think about where to miss the green, you think about where's the danger, where do I avoid the danger. Just stop and think. The amount of shots somebody who's shooting between 91 and 96, the amount of shots that are just wasted due to thinking is unbelievable. I can guarantee this is the number one thing that's going to take you from 95 to 87, just in one round. Just to stop and think. And part of this, players, it's very important, I just thought of it now. Part of this thinking is to believe you're good enough. Another big problem I see with people, you know, the people trying to break 100, they like have lack of confidence because they're scared of holding people up. They're scared of people not enjoying playing with them. So they want to break 100 to make more friends and have more fun. Breaking 90 crowd, they don't believe that they're good enough to have a pre-shot routine, to have lessons, to have on-course lessons. They don't believe that they are good enough to take the game seriously enough to try to break 90. And that is the big hurdle. You need to believe that when you're on the course, you're taking your 10 seconds, 20 seconds to think about a shot, when everyone else is also thinking or playing their shots, so you're not wasting time, that you are allowed to take it seriously enough that you are going to hit a good shot, that you have a pre-shot routine, that you're thinking about your shot, that you're not hitting driver just because your friends want you to. You're not hitting at Oscar Bravo for the 6th time in a row. You are good enough. If you're shooting in the low 90s, mid 90s, you are good enough to be on the golf course, and you are good enough to break 90 and smash 90. But you need to believe that what you're doing is allowed to happen. You need to believe that the people are not judging you. They're not saying, oh, look at this guy, he takes it so seriously and he's so shit. No, wrong think. Believe you're good enough, think for 10 seconds, plan it out. You are allowed to. It will pay off, you'll shoot better scores, but you need to believe. Now, what am I talking about when I say to you, think? Because this one does frustrate me. It does frustrate me. Because I watch a guy playing, and he's playing so nice. And I'm watching his score, and he's like 10 over after 15 holes, or 10 over after 12 holes or something, and he's really on track, maybe going to shoot around 90. He's normally a 95 shooter. And then he does something, you look and you go, why are you doing that? And that negative move produces a spiral that then produces more bad shots. So we never want to follow a bad shot with a stupid shot. That's why I say learn the punch shot. That's why I say there are no hero shots, only stupid shots. If you're standing over a ball and you're thinking, this is what the pros would do, this is what Tiger would do, what would Bubba do, what would DJ do? Stop that shot and pick another one, because it's not a good shot. It's a stupid shot. People need to be told the reality. The reality is that's stupid. Stop and think. Now, what do I mean by think, okay? So I'm getting worked up here, players. What I see when I see mid-handicappers playing golf, struggling to break 90, this is what I see. This is what I see. What I see is a really easy hole, 320 yards, okay? It's not so easy, but it's short. It's reachable in 2. Remember, we increased our par from 4 to 5, just because we can. We're trying to break 90. So I think to myself, this guy has the distance to get there, okay? But this bunker here is 180 yards away. This is water down the left. So in general, people are going to be scared of hitting the water, okay? we've got all this space over here. Why do we hit a shot with a driver or something, and this one is like 240 yards to get past? Why are we hitting a club that reaches there and then leaves you stymied, can't get out of the bunker, can't hit the green in 2 or 3 shots, when all you have to do is find out the distance to your hazards and hit a club that is going to stay safe in the fairway, and from there understand that this is no longer a par 4, it's a par 5. We don't have to hit it in 2, and let's say we've hit a ball 160 yards, we have 160 left. We now have the option of going for the green if it's safe, and if it's not safe, hitting it to an area where it will be safe and you can chip onto the green relatively easily. So you can either go for it if you have the confidence, or set it up for a chip that allows you to get the ball on in 3 shots. If you're lucky, you get it on in 2 shots. Either way, you're staying out of the water and out of these hazards. This is the point of thinking on a golf course. A lot of people just get onto the tee, okay, par 4, driver, burp, burp, in the water. Why are we doing this stuff? Why are we doing this stuff? Because there's no thinking. You need to stop and think. Stop and think. Okay, bunker, ping, check the watch, check the rangefinder, ping, ping, 200 yards to the bunker. Am I going to hit my 220 yard club? No, I'm going to hit my 180 club, my 175 club. Stay short of that bunker. Why? Because I know I have 3 shots to reach this par 4 because we changed the green regulation. Of course, there's some nuance to breaking 90. Okay, there's some nuance to breaking 90. If you want to break 90, this is again thinking. So we've hit a drive. We're on a par 5, we're on a par 4. Whatever the par is, it doesn't matter. This is our drive. Par 4 equals par 6, par 4 equals par 5. So now we have, if it was a par 4, we have 2 more shots to get on the green. If it's a par 5, we have 3 more shots to get on the green. And we are still 230 yards away. Now, because we've got a full bag of 14 clubs, for example, we are going to go from 230 to this green. We're going to now hit something that's going to go 230, right? C-pin, hit to pin. No, very wrong. Because you're going to hit your club, your maximum range is 225, you're going to give it a wallop, and you're going to hit a shuri, and it's going to go brr, 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 into the bunker. Or you hit a solid one, and it's going to reach another bunker. Or you're going to hit a ball, because you're forcing it, you're going to slice it into some danger, into some trees, or some deep rough. We don't need to hit this green in 2. Par 5 in 2, forget about it. Par 4 in 2, if it's a long approach like that, forget about it. Find yourself a safe place and plan back from the green. We want to plan back from the green. What club and what distance do we want into the green? That is the key question. That is the key question. The key question in golf, what club do I want into the green? Plan back from the green. We've got a 230 yard shot. We've got no hope of getting it on the green. We're going to take the stupid shot out of play. Remember, no hero shot, stupid shots. We're going to take the stupid shot out of our mind. What do I want into the green? I love a 125 yard 9-iron. I'm 230 away. What am I going to hit to there? I'm going to hit a 105 yard shot. That's your 100 yard club. So you hit your 100 yard club, you have your favorite shot into the green, whether it's a par 4 or a par 5, that's what you're going to do. Because we have to get on the green in one more than professional regulation. So instead of going for a par 5 in 2, we can split it into 2 shots. If this was our 3rd shot on a par 5, we can split it into 2 shots. That's how we do it. You don't have to split it in half. You can just work back from the green to your favorite approach distance. This is the key in any golf. This is how the best golfers in the world think. What do I want into the green? That's part of your stop and think. What do I want into the green? What do I want into the green? Okay, I don't have to feel the pressure of trying to smash something there, because if you smash a single club in this system, If you smash one club, one shot, you've done it wrong. You've done it wrong. You should not be hitting hard shots in this system because there's no pressure to hit a green in regulation. Now, when I talk about planning back from the green, what do I mean? Okay, we have a green. This is generally how it works. We have distances to the middle, to the back, and to the front. This is very key. What we want to set up, particularly if we have a golf watch, okay? Garmin S40, highly recommended. Link in the description below. Okay, if we have the watch, okay, that thing's going to tell us, on the watch it tells you the distance to the front, to the middle, and to the back. Okay, that's all we need as breaking 90 players. The rangefinder, nice. The watch, more valuable. Why is it more valuable? Because we are not pin hunting yet. If you're pin hunting, you're doing it wrong. Pin hunting is for the pros. It's for the 2 handicap, 1 handicap, scratch golfer. For the breaking golfer, you know where we want it? Right over here, baby. Right in the center. 135 plus 5 minus 5. So you want to be hitting to the front, to the middle of the green as often as you can, whether the pin is here, 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 or here. It doesn't matter. You want to be working back to this range. The middle of the green plus 5 minus 5. You want to be working back to leave yourself a shot that allows a full shot of your choice into the green. Never pin hunting. You don't go pin hunting. The pin is irrelevant. You want the middle of the green. No one ever played terrible golf hitting the middle of the green. Believe it. Take that to the bank. Cash it. Send it. PayPal. Well, now players, you may be saying, Matt, that's really harsh. Why are you saying just go for the middle of the green? Why can't we pin hunt? Well, the problem is, players, very few people, very few who are trying to break 90, which means they're shooting 90 to 95, 96, do not even trust their own shape. Now, if you can do this, you will be an enlightened player. But if you have a pin there, with a bunker there, short side, you've got no green to work with, something like that, okay? What you're going to be doing, as a lot of players do, they hit fades. What they're going to start to think is that they need to start going for the pin, but they don't accept that they hit a fade. A lot of people cannot accept they hit a fade for some reason. This is also something key in breaking 90 golf. Accept your shot shape. Accept your shot shape. Because a lot of people I've seen will aim it down the middle of the fairway every time and miss it on the right side of the fairway, in a bunker, in the water. And this one does infuriate me. I understand I should not be infuriated, but I just want to shake people, but I can't do it on the golf course because people cannot accept the truth. The truth is, if you're hitting a big league fade, even a small fade, aim it up the left side as often as you can so it fades into the right side or the middle of the fairway, avoiding the danger. But what people will do is they'll go dead at the pin because they're going pin hunting like Tiger, but they forget the fact that they hit a fade. Yes, you can go pin hunting if you hit your fade, but that's why I say don't do it. Don't do it. Just go middle of the green every time. Middle of the green every time. What's the saying we use on this channel? Get it on the green. What's the saying we use on this channel all the time? G-I-O-T-G. Giotigi. Get it on the green. Get it on the green. Forget the pin. We want middle of the green. And then we want 2 putts. We want to set up our favorite shot to that middle of the green distance. We want to get it on the green. We may miss it there. We may miss it there. We may miss it there. And we want to have 2 putts into wherever the pin is. 2 putts. 2 putts. How do we get 2 putts? We practice putting twice as much as we go hit balls on the range. Now, of course, I've mentioned shot shape. I've mentioned accepting your shot shape. But the key practice here is to always be accepting that shot shape, okay? If you hit a fade, you hit a fade. Nicholas hit a fade. If you hit a draw, you hit a draw. But aim for it. Stop aiming for the miracle straight shot. Guys, it never comes. I really, if there's one thing I can hope you will take from this video, is to just aim for your shot shape. I see so many guys just like, it's almost like they have going through some mental gymnastics the whole way through the round, trying to convince themselves that this one's going straight, this one's going straight, this one's going straight. It doesn't. It doesn't. You hit your shot shape, accept it, aim for it. Part of breaking 90 is the ability to think. We talked a little bit about thinking on the golf course, but there's another level of thinking that is not talked about, and that is when you actually do shoot a nice run of scores on a run of 6 holes, 8 holes, or you shoot 9 holes of 36 when your other 9 was something like 55. These are glimpses into your potential. It's not fluke, it's not luck, it's a glimpse into your potential. Many people will write this off to luck, and that is mistake number 1. This is what you are capable of. And because you've seen it, it means you can repeat it. If you can do it for 6 holes, you can do it for 12 holes. If you can do it for 12 holes, you can do it for 18 holes. If you can make 6 straight pars, regardless of how you make them, whether you're holding chips, you're holding long putts, or you're sticking it close, or you're 2-putting, whatever you're doing for that glimpse of period means that you can do it again. It's in your system. Anyone who argues with that lives in an alternative reality. These are naysayers, these are negative people. That is what you're capable of. So think about that. Don't just write it off to fluke luck because you're not thinking. When you say stuff like that, it's like a dogma. You just say it because it's expected. No, that's your glimpse into your potential. Next, I have a look at stats from my Facebook group. I have a lot of people on my Facebook group trying to break 90, trying to break 100. One of the main stats I find there is where people miss the green. A lot of the stats will end up being mainly to the right and mainly short of the green. Hardly ever left and hardly ever long. What that tells me every single time is that that person doesn't know their distances. They're short because they're hitting 1 too little club. You need to hit more club. Remember, you want to get it on the middle, +5, -5. That is the range you want to hit it. Anyone leaving it short more than 30% of the time, more than 25% of the time, you're taking the wrong club. If your misses are here most often, and you can track these in the stats tracking apps, that's where the data comes from these people who left it on the Facebook group. If you are hitting most of your shots here and here, I guarantee you're either hitting the wrong club because of ego and ignorance of your distance, or you're slicing it to the right and leaving it short right because you're trying to smash a ball. You're taking one club too short and you're smashing it and it's slicing. What happens when we smash it? It slices. And it's also telling me people are not playing their shot shape. As I discussed earlier, accept your shot shape. If you hit a fade, accept it. It's fine. But someone who knows their game and plays the fade is a far more impressive golfer than someone who keeps fighting their shot the whole way round. You're like the emperor with no clothes. You might be telling us that you hit a straight ball or a draw, but we can see different. We can see the ball going to the right on 80% of your shots. When you're hitting it straight at the pin on the left side and it's fading far from the pin and you're so surprised, or you're hitting it down the middle of the fairway waiting for that miraculous straight shot and it slices into the water. When it happens the 6th, 7th or 8th time, it's no longer a surprise. That's the reality. So notice where you miss the greens. Are you missing them short? Or are you missing them right? Now, if you're missing them right, short, long or long or left, it's fine. As long as those misses are in good positions. Most often people will miss that side not because they're thinking that way, just because they haven't accepted their shot shape and they're hitting a ball too hard. But if you are meticulous in your planning and you start to notice where the good places are to miss, to chip onto the green with more green to work with, so if the pin's on the right and you've got bunkers all over there, but you leave it up here on the left, that additional green to let the ball roll up to the hole, that's called intelligent course management. You can see it in all my videos. But when you go at the pin with your shot shape and you don't account for your shot shape and you end up short-sided in the bunkers and you have to hit from below the green onto the green with this much green between the edge of the green and the pin. That's when you add automatic one more shot. When you start to think about where the best place is to miss the green or to allow yourself an easy shot onto the green, that's when you start playing golf and you stop playing frustration. Now, a lot of people, when asking how to break 90, one of the main pieces of advice in quotes, is to hit more green in regulation. What the hell kind of advice is that? To hit more greens in regulation is not a piece of advice. How do you do it? So when you want to hit more greens in regulation, you can, okay? We have our own green in regulation. Remember, we're trying to break 90. We're playing a par 90 course. We add one shot to the stroke of every hole, and we take that number and -2, that's our green in regulation. One more than pro regulation. But there's nuance to breaking 90. If you find yourself in positions that you are in range to hit that green in professional regulation, and it's very safe to do so, and you have a nice comfortable club in your hand, you're not reaching for more distance in your top range. If you're at the 125 yard mark, the 150 yard mark, you're feeling great. Middle of the green, get it on in 2 on a par 4, in 3 on a par 5. When you start thinking back from the green, like I explained earlier, you will automatically start to hit more greens in regulation, professional regulation. Sometimes, once you start to learn to think on the golf course, you may start to hit maybe even 6 greens in regulation, maybe 4 or 5. And that's how you hit more greens in regulation. Don't just listen to people telling you about strokes gained and how the pros hit the irons from 200 yards better than us, and that's what makes them so good. And they hit it long off the tee, blah, blah, blah. Plan back from the green as we discussed. Keep the ball in play, and slowly this number will creep up automatically without you even knowing. Hit the correct club into the green. Don't leave it short, don't leave it right because you're hitting it too hard. Only attack the green in regulation, professional style, when you are in a great position, when it is the most stress-free shot. People who say there's no stress-free shots and the only way to test yourself is to hit the stress-free shots, blah, blah, blah. Those people, what handicap do they play off? Because I've never heard a low handicapper talk like that. This is a big difference. When you're on the internet or you're talking to friends, the people with the most advice and the most wrong advice are people who've never broken 90. The people who are telling you this stuff have never broken 90. Their name is Trevor, and they're sitting in the basement of their parents' house looking for an outlet for their rage in life. This is how you do it. You need a process to get there. Stop listening to Muppets. You need to manage the hazards. Now, by manage hazards, I mean you have to get out of bunkers in one shot. Okay? Get out of bunkers in one shot. Whatever it takes, go and practice the damn things. I've got bunker videos on my channel. Watch them. That'll get you out of bunkers first time. But you have to practice it. This tip alone, if you can just get out of bunkers first shot, is going to save a lot of people up to 3 or 4 shots around and a lot of frustration. And what else do I mean by manage hazards? Do not go in the water. Do not go out of bounds. If you go to certain holes and you do the same thing over and over, you go in the water left, you're going out of bounds right, you top it into the water in front, change something drastic. So if you're teeing off on the right side and you're missing it with a big slice out to the right, tee it up on the left side, change the club, don't hit the driver that slices, put that away, take out the 6-iron, do something crazy and hit the 6-iron toward the OB. Anything, just change it. Stop doing the same thing over and over. They say doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. It's not. It's the definition of stupidity and brainlessness. Change something that doesn't work. Change it drastically. Change it a little bit. Just do something different. Don't do the same thing over and over and then look astonished when the same thing happens. Next, chip and putt. This one here, if you can improve your chipping and putting, you will break 90. No question. Within 5-6 rounds, if you go spend a few hours chipping and putting, one chipping club, one putting club. You go practice from the hole. Remember, everything is from the green backwards. From the hole backwards, we do our practice. Putting, 1 foot. Master those. 2 foot, master those. 100% rate. maybe 50 in a row on the putting green. 3-footers, 100%. 4-footers, whatever, as much as you can. 5-footers, as much as you can. When you can hold 5 and 6-footers relatively regularly, it takes pressure off your chipping game. But then, because you have less pressure on the chipping game gets better. But you have to practice the chipping game. So you have to go practice chipping it as close to the hole as you can, and then work on getting that average down with the balls you're chipping. You have to work on the putting to give yourself confidence to know, if I just get this within 5 feet, I have a chance. And what I mean by this is, our new green in regulation means we can, if it's safe, go for a pro green in regulation sometimes. Which means if we miss the green, we're still on course to chip and putt, to chip a ball onto our new green in regulation. And if you get good at the chipping and putting and start making more up and downs, that's when you start to break 90 big time. You don't just chip and putt well and shoot an 89 or an 88. When the day comes that your chipping and putting work pays off, you're not shooting an 89. You're shooting an 84, 82, 83, and you shit yourself because it's just that easy. You'll think, what have I been doing all my life? Smashing driver on the driving range. No, get your pitching wedge, get your 9-iron, get something that you enjoy chipping with, learn it intimately, play it off the back foot, front foot, hands forward, hands back, whatever, open the face, close the face. Let it roll, let it fly high, whatever you want to do, be conscious of what the ball is doing when you're chipping at the practice green. Get good at that. 90 is a joke. You're starting to look at the 80s then. Okay, we talked about changing failure. Anytime something fails, you can try it again one more time, maybe a third time. If the same thing keeps happening after the third time, you're not thinking. You're not thinking. Change what fails. Change it. Hitting the driver every tee. You've been hitting a draw your whole life, and today you're hitting a big slice with 1 club or 2 clubs. Just stop hitting that club. Today you're hitting a fade. Hit the fade. That's what you came with today. You're going to dance with the lady you brought. You can't be fantasizing about the other one you wanted to bring. You brought this one, so dance with that one. Next, lies. Key ingredient here. This one, as you improve at golf, as you start to be more conscious and you start thinking, okay, because this whole thing about breaking 90 is all about thinking. And what I mean by lies is the lie of the golf ball. Practice. Go and practice. When you're on the course, be conscious of what happens, just for a few rounds. Be conscious of what happens. Because a big problem with breaking 90 golf is the idea of copy-paste golf. You cannot hit the same distance, the same ball flight, the same shape, the same amount of spin from every lie. Sometimes you have a clean lie. Sometimes you have an uphill lie. Sometimes you have a downhill lie. Sometimes a side lie. Sometimes another side hill lie with a ball below your feet. Sometimes you have a ball deep in the rough. Sometimes you have a ball on top of the rough. Sometimes it's in wispy rough. Sometimes it's in thick rough. Sometimes you've got trees in the way. Sometimes you need a different trajectory. Sometimes it's a sandy lie. Sometimes a muddy lie. Sometimes the bunkers are hard. Sometimes the bunkers are soft. Sometimes fine sand. Sometimes rough sand. This is the key difference from going from breaking 100, where you're totally unconscious of the lie, to breaking 90, where you start to understand the major lies, fairway versus rough, deep rough versus medium rough, sand versus hard pan, soft green, hard green. You start to understand the lies, but you need to start becoming conscious, because once you get down to the low 80s, understanding your lie is 100% what determines the shot you hit. Now, you may have all the shots in the book, but if you pick the wrong one for the lie that you have, that's when things don't improve. Once you can start matching up the shots in your arsenal, which you develop by chipping and putting, and you go to the range and hit those clubs that we discussed earlier, once you learn the interaction with the turf, you learn how the ball reacts downhill, uphill, etc., you can start to understand what to do in each situation. When you can do that, that's when you start moving toward breaking 80 and towards scratch golf. The best golfers in the world plan back from the green. They understand the lie more than anything else. They understand the lie and the reaction to the lie of the ball and the club. wet grass, dry grass, very dry grass, lush grass, thick blade grass, thin blade grass, soft grass, hard grass. All these things add up. And this here, once you've mastered the thinking section, this is the last part of thinking, is to understand the lie of the golf ball, the reaction of the club to that lie, and the reaction of the ball flight to that lie. A basic primer. A basic primer of some lies based on the lie of the ball in terms of the slope. Ball below your feet will go to the right. Pretty much guaranteed. You want to grip up on the club because it's below your feet, and you're going to have to hit a few of these to learn how it reacts. Ball above your feet is going to hook. Aim way right. Swing with the slope. It's going to hook. Uphill shot with you want to level your shoulders with the slope, and you can expect that ball to hook. A downhill shot. Okay, this is quite a severe slope, of course, but the severity of how much the ball will squirt right or left will depend on the severity of the slope. Downhill lie, that ball is going to fade. Downhill, fade. Ball below the feet, fade. Ball above the feet, hook. Uphill shot, tendency to hook. That's a basic primer on the lie according to the slope. This area of the lie of the ball is easily the most important area that you are going to need to improve once you start to get your course management under control. I'm not going to run through a whole lot of holes that need to be managed. You can watch tons of videos, anything with JMac, B-Dog, and even some of my higher rounds in the 80s. You can see what it looks like to break 90. It's not perfect, but it's about keeping the ball in play, chipping, putting, no more 3-putting, and thinking. Once you move from the high mid-90s down into the 80s, it's about thinking. Part of thinking, players, is the elements. There are many elements when we play golf. We don't play golf in a vacuum. Sometimes you have a crosswind. Sometimes you have a wind in the opposite direction. Sometimes you have a wind into you. Sometimes you have a wind with you. The wind with you adds distance. The wind into you subtracts distance. The wind from the left moves the ball to the left. If you hit a draw, it's going to draw it more. So you want to aim further right. If you've got a wind left to right, it's going to move the ball to the right. Now, if you hit a draw, generally, and the wind's coming from the left, what you can do is club up, because the angle you're hitting the ball fights the wind. So it's going to have less effect, but it's going to take distance off. Let's say the wind is coming right to left and you hit a fade. It's going to take significant distance off. So you could club up 1 or 2 more clubs, and because the angle of the shot is coming into the wind, you can take a straighter line at the pin, but take more club. The wind is coming directly into you. That's just going to affect the distance. You want to club up, more club. Downwind, you want to club down. That's how it works. Now, part of thinking, part of the lie, part of the conditions is the turf condition. How is the turf? Is it wet? Is it firm? Is it dry? Is it spongy? How is the condition of the course? This is going to dictate how you're going to hit shots. Are you going to have to carry it? Then you must know your carry distance, because if it's wet and soft, you need to carry it more. Is it cold? Is it a cold day? Yes, it's a cold day. Going to lose 10 yards. Is it a warm day? Going to increase 10 yards. Is it a firm golf course? Okay, we may be able to roll the ball up to the green. Sometimes you can even club down 1 or 2 clubs and let it bounce up to the green. Flying it onto a firm green, full distance, rolling off the back into the bunkers. Not ideal. We have to start becoming conscious of our environment, the line, the lie of the ball, the lines we take, the management of where we're going to hit the ball to allow ourselves an easier shot. That is a primer on these things. You need to take this. I can't spoon feed this to you. Every part of the world is different. Australia, South Africa, similar golf courses. Europe, Canada, Midwest, US, south of the US, different climates. Florida, Thailand, same thing. South Africa, high altitude. Colorado, high altitude. South Africa, coastal courses in Cape Town, coastal courses in Spain. these are going to be similar. Links courses in the UK, the Sandbelt in Melbourne, the Sandbelt in the UK. These things are going to all be similar kind of golf courses, and you're going to have to understand your environment. Some quick tips on how to become a much better golfer than you are right now. These are foolproof. Play more courses. Playing your home course is sure to get your handicap down and sure to break 90. 100%. If you want to break 90, start playing the same course over and over and over and over again. You will break 90, guaranteed. But play more courses to become a better golfer so that when you come back to your home course, you come back to the course you play regularly, you're going to break 90 much easier because you get a whole new skill set. But to get a new skill set, you also want to be playing golf with better players. Okay, I'm not saying ditch your friends. Don't ditch your friends. Keep a whole group of people you play with. But if you're one of the stronger people in your group, you're not going to improve. You want to go and play with people who are shooting in the 80s, low 80s, mid 80s. Don't ditch your friends. Just have a group you go play with, and through osmosis and competition with them, you're going to learn to play like them and adapt and adopt some of their shots to become a better golfer. And how do we do that? If we don't want to be friends with the people, what you can do is join a handicap league. Any kind of league where you're playing competitively. That's where you'll start to learn that a swing doesn't matter. You're playing golf, not golf swing. That's where you'll learn, you can learn from everybody. Everybody has something to learn from in a league. They're competitive. That's where you learn to play under a moderate amount of pressure. And that's where you start to improve by watching other people and trying to beat those same people. Good start. A final hack for you, if you're trying to break 90, is get a second hobby. I'm not saying this to be funny or to be demeaning, but some people like cycling. Not sure why, but it could be your hobby. I like bird watching. So when I'm having a shit day on the golf course, I just think about the next weekend or the next month when I get to go bird watching in the mountains or in the bush. Quiet, see some new things, be in nature. That's my second hobby. And when I'm on the course, it allows me to go to mental vacations so that I don't have to be stuck in my bubble thinking this is my only hobby, which is golf, and I'm playing shit at it. Why don't I just give it up? Life sucks. I'm going to get a divorce and become Jack Reacher and go work in the US on a Greyhound bus and go solve mysteries around the country. No, we need a second hobby. That way we keep coming back to our first hobby. And the final one is, do not ever keep score in your head, ever. And by that, I don't mean just to, like, keep score, okay, that, counting your score on each hole. Of course, you have to count your score, but then once you do, just write the number in. 5, 6, 4, whatever it is, and forget about it. You only count this up at the end of the round in the clubhouse. Do not ever keep the score relative to par in your head. You do not need to know your score after 9 holes, and you don't need to know your score on the 16th, 17th, 18th tee, wondering how you're doing. Oh, am I going to break 90 today? Because you look at your score, you see there's two options. You're either doing well and you're on target, or you're not on target. Each way, you're going to screw it up, because if you weren't on target with 3 holes to go, you could still go 1 under par and actually break the 90. But then you put the pressure on yourself and say, I need to go 1 under, or you say, I've screwed it up, and you just screw it up worse. Or you find out you're on target and you say, all I need to do is make 3 bogeys on the next 3 holes and I shoot 89 or 88. And you know what you do? Double, double, double. You take a 91 or 92 and you can't sleep for 3 weeks because you're sick about the fact you looked at the card and you didn't listen to me and you counted your score. No counting score whenever you play golf, especially when you're trying to break a barrier. Never, ever do this.